In this video, I'm going to show you how you can turn yourself into the Spider-Man. Okay guys, let us begin. So let's go ahead and import our image. So I'll start up with this Miles Morales background image, which will be our base. So let's just add it up. So now what we want to do, we want to remove this head of Miles because we want to replace that with our own image. But before we do that, let's make a duplicate copy so we can have the original one as a reference. So let's go ahead and duplicate that. So you click right here, click on this icon, and then click duplicate layer. Done. So we have them both. So let's just turn off the one at the top and turn this one on, and make this one active by clicking on it. So now what we want to do, we want to remove the original head photo. So let's go to toolbar, scroll to the top, you will see this clone stamp tool, and this is what we're going to use to remove the head. So click on the brush, make sure you increase the size, make the hardness 0%, and every other thing make it 100%. So now this is how it works. Just look at the source. As you can see, it's showing white, so click it until it shows white again, and make a sample like this. So you can just brush like so, click on the source again, make a sample, and just brush. This is how you get rid of it. You can click on sample again, maybe this time you want to sample from the side, and just, this is very easy. As you can see, sample, brush, sample, brush, sample, brush, and just keep on doing this until you get the entire head off. So I just sample right here and brush. Okay, this is just how easy it is. Click right here and I'm going to brush. Click right here. So I think I'll click right here. So I'll stop at this point. Yeah, you don't need to remove everything. So okay, so this is the before and the after. Now what we want to do is to go ahead and import our own image. So let's go ahead and do just that. So I think I'll click right here, add a photo layer from photo library. So this is the image I'm going to use. I've already removed the background, so we won't spend further time doing such. So let's click on done at first. Let's take it to the top. We're going to turn this one on, and let's reduce the opacity of this one like so. So now let us click right here and transform it so it can fit. So I'll make it a bit smaller, and I'm going to rotate it like this. Make it smaller, of course. Should be right here. Try to align it a bit. I think something like this. So let's turn it on and see how it looks like. Let's increase the opacity. Okay, let's try again. Let's see if we put it right here. Oh. So take your time doing this. I think it should look okay at this point. Yeah. I think the head is too big, so let's reduce that. Okay. Okay, let's assume this is okay. So we just click on OK. So now what we want to do, I think we should reduce the opacity further and just erase the unwanted areas. So I'm going to click on my eraser tool. I think this is it. Go to the brush. I want to increase the size a bit and the hardness, take it down a little bit. I think okay, let's see how this one is. Yeah, this one is okay. So just brush around. I think I'll make it harder a bit. Yeah. So what the hardness does is, if you take it soft, you're going to create some feather. Or if you take it 100% hardness, as you can see, it's very sharp. So let us reduce it. We don't want it to be too sharp. And now we can brush like so. Let's just take this part out. Yeah, be careful when doing this. Okay. Nice. And so let's make the brush even more smaller. So I'm going to reduce the size in that brush right here, I think. So now let us increase it back to 100% so we can see. I don't think this one is bad. Not at all. So let's increase it and brush it right here. So, okay, not bad. Let's fade out a bit. I think I still need to, reduce the size. Okay, let's assume this one is fine. Okay, now let us move on to the next step. So let's turn this layer on. So click on this layer, let's transform it to the side so we can use it as a reference to blend our own image. So I'm going to use the marquee selection tool from toolbar and just draw right here like this, or just draw right here. And click right here and then extract. Okay, I should take it to the side because we're going to be using it as a reference. Done. Alright, so what we want to do first of all is to do the color correction, because we are going to be doing two things right here, which is the color balancing and the lighting. As you can see, there's a blue light coming from the right and a magentish light coming from the left. But first, let us blend the image to the background by using color balance. But before we do that, Let us make a duplicate just in case we mess things up. We can always come back and instead of importing the image again and removing the background, that kind of stuff. So first of all, let's go to adjustment. Now let's go to saturation, because you can see this image was a daytime image. The sun is really bright, so this image tends to have more saturation compared to the one at night. So I'll reduce this saturation a lot. I think somewhere here could do. Okay, done. So before and after. Okay, now let's go to adjustment. Let's go for the color balancing, and I would love to use curve in this case. So I'll click on curves. So I'm going to take it down. Okay, okay, go to reds. Should I increase the reds or take it down? I think I should increase it. Go to the greens. I think I should reduce this one. Go to the blues. Okay, so let's try again. Okay, should I take this part down as well? Let's try and refine some things here. So this using curve takes some practice. I do have a video that could help you start. So you may not get it at first, but as time goes on, you'll become a bit more perfect at it. So don't panic. Okay. Let's take this one. So let's click on done. So this is the before and the after. Okay, now let us work on the lighting, which is the major part of this video. So the first light we're going to work on is for the blue light, which is coming from the right. So I think I'm going to turn off this image. So to create this blue light, I think this one is the most easy one compared to when we're going to be making this purple magentish light. So to make the blue light, click on your layer drop down. Make sure you are in the layer of the model head, and then just duplicate it like so. Click on done. After that, come over here to effects, stylize, click on threshold. Okay, go to the fore color, which is this one. Reduce it to 0% opacity. Okay, as you can see. Then next, make sure you are in this back color and make sure it's 100%. You don't need to, the color doesn't matter here. So now let us work on the smoothness. So I would love to use a different color instead of using white. So let us use blue. But the color doesn't matter. Okay, so let us play with it to the point you want. Okay, now take it to the side. Okay, I think I'm okay with this. I'm just going to click OK. So before, after. So what you want to do in this case now is to click right here, click on select pixels. Okay, now you can turn this one off. We no longer need it. Then now you can go back to this layer, which is this one. click right here and then layer from selection. So you can click on done. So come over here and deselect. So now if we turn off this layer, as you can see, we have only this part in just its own layer. So let us turn it off. So what we're going to do, we're going to be applying some effects to this so we can feel some lighting. So we turn back this one and make sure you're in the top layer, which is the one we just created, and click over to adjustment, then come to curves. Now let us undo this curve. Yeah, like so. First of all, let's go to brightness. We're going to increase the brightness like so. Go to red. We are going to reduce the reds because the opposite of red is cyan. So when we remove red, we are simply adding cyan, as you can see. Go to blues, increase the blue. Okay, I think I'll reduce the cyan even more. I will add some cyan even more. So let's go to green. Let's see what green can do. Should we add some green to it? Sure. I think it helps. It adds a lot to it. So curves again. Okay, I think this one is working. So you click done. So this is the before and the after. As you can see, it adds that realistic blue lighting to it. So there's one more thing we want to do here. So click right here. Make sure you are at the bottom layer. Click right here. Click on select pixels. And then click right here again. Click here and create an empty layer. Then click on done. So now we can come over here and click on gradient. So we want a linear gradient, so you can select a linear gradient from this area, but if you don't have any, you can click right here, click here and turn this to linear type. So put it like this. Click on the color, pick a blue from the background, click on the other edge and make sure it's blue as well. Okay, so now let us position it right here, like so. Done. Deselect it and set the blend mode to overlay. As you can see, it adds a bit of more glow to it. So let us reduce it a bit. Don't want it to be too much, otherwise it's going to be too faking. So this is for the blue lighting, and let's go for the second light, which is the magenta. This is what is going to make it look even more realistic. So I think I'm going to reduce the project size. Maybe I'll make this. Okay, I think this one is not bad. Let's leave it. So now to work on the blue lighting, we first of all go above everything. This layer, I don't think we need it anymore, so let's just get rid of it. Okay, so let us create an empty layer above it. Done. And now, just like we did, let's come over here, but this time we're going to do this first. Click on select pixels. Okay, now go back to this empty layer. Click right here and click on gradient. So let's turn it to the side, like so. This time, I know you must have guessed it, we change the color to magenta. So use your color picker and select magenta. Click on the other edge too, same thing. This is your color picker, pick on magenta. Nice. So we want to put it right here. Okay, done. And set it to overlay. So we're going to deselect that. So here's the before and the after. Now let us work on it. So in this case, we are actually going to paint on the edges. It's pretty easy. Don't worry too much about it. So let us paint. We'll click right here. We add an empty layer above it. Done. And now let us pick a brush. Use the paint tool. Click on your color. So use your color picker. Remember this. Now click on it. I think I'm going to sample the one from the neck. Yeah, like this. So the brush size, you can increase the flow and the opacity. Now just roughly but brush around like so. You don't have to be 100% perfect. So once you've done that, click on this layer, click right here, click on select pixels, then come over to the top, click right here and click on extract. Okay, so now deselect, click right here and deselect. So you can try with some blend mode to see. Okay, I think screen really works. And go to your, first of all, let us fade it out. So click right here, click on fade. So make sure it's a linear fade. Okay, so I'm going to fade it from the top. I think from right here will work. Done. So next thing you want to do is to come over here and click on the eraser tool. Click on the brush. Make sure you increase the size and set the hardness to 0%. So after that, you can just dab like this, just to make this a bit softer, like so. And from the ears, we are going to erase it from the ears, like so. As you can see, this is looking pretty cool. So next we're going to create another one, another empty layer. Okay, so you click right here, create an empty layer. Done. Click on our paint tool again. I think this time I'm going to reduce the brush size. So now where we want to paint is at this joy bone at the side. So set it back to screen, like so, and come over here. So click on your toolbar, select the eraser tool. Let us reduce the opacity so we can see what we are doing very well. And just, okay, first of all, reduce the brush size. I think that one is a bit too big. And just dab around the corners like this, just to soften it out. Like so. Okay, now make the brush size a bit bigger and dab right here as well. Nice, take a look at that. Doesn't that look pretty cool? So let's set them 100%, put it at normal, click on the other one, put it at normal at first. So now what we want to do is to mesh both down. So I think I should fade this part out here. So let us mesh both down. Click right here, click here and mesh down. So now let us change it to screen. Nice. So if you want to, you can reduce the opacity. Okay, as you can see, this edge is right here. So let's go back to the model layer. If we can fade that out, and let's try. I don't think that works, but let's reduce the size first and just dab around like so. Come over to the other layers. This one first of all, dab right here, then the final layer. Okay, just to soften it out. Okay, let's leave that. You can spend some of your time on it and tune it a bit to make it match, or maybe increase this, or you can leave it at normal if you please, whichever one you prefer. I think I'll leave mine at normal. Oh no, linear dodge. Oh yes, linear dodge look cooler. So yeah, there's one more thing. There's one more thing to do, which is take a look at the air. So we want some of the air to appear. As you can see, the air shouldn't have this much of an highlight. So to make some of the airs appear, we want to go and erase them one by one. That will take a lot of time and it's not going to look perfect. So what we want to do here is to click right here, click on the model layer, which is this one, duplicate it and take it to the top. Then now what you want to do is to click right here, click on select pixels. Okay, come over to effects, click on threshold just as we did before, but this time we're going to take this back color to 0% and bring back this fore color. So now what you want to do is to go to threshold, take it down this much. You can also take down the hardness, the smoothness. Okay, I think this one is pretty. Go to threshold, you can okay, done. So let us deselect. As you can see, some of the airs are showing. So now what we want to do is to come over here, click on select pixels, turn this off. We don't need it anymore, delete it, and make sure you are in this layer. Increase the brush size and just erase from here. As you can see, you can also maybe turn on the flow and just make some few clicks right here, just to, make things look a bit more settled. Okay, so now let us deselect that. As you can see, the airs are a bit showing, the highlight looks a bit more settled, and yeah. So now what we want to do is to create some edge lighting. You can still refine this even more, but I think I'll stop here, and I know you got the idea. So let us add some edge lighting. to make this composition looks even more better. So let's first of all come over here, click on this layer, duplicate it, take it to the top, come over to adjustment, click on brightness, take it all the way to the bottom, which is making it 100% black. Come over here, click right here and turn the blend mode to linear dodge. So click right here, click on basic and use bevel. So we want to click on the angle and make it seems to be coming from this side. Click on the color, pick kind of like a magenta color. Okay, for the blur, reduce it and the distance as well. So I think we should make this color a bit brighter. Let us reduce the saturation, making it a lot brighter. Okay, so now I think we should go to blur and increase it a bit. Alright, so I'm just going to click on done. So hope you are using the eraser tool. Increase the flow and the opacity and just erase at the side. So take a look at that before, after. You can reduce the opacity, of course. So before, after, nice. Now let us create another edge lighting from the right. So go to the bottom layer, this guy of course, duplicate it, take it to the top. Then come over to adjustment, brightness, done. And now let's change it to linear dodge as well. Click on effects, bevel, but this time we're going to change the angle to this. So now change the color, pick a blue from there. Nice. So now I'm going to click on done and I will erase it from this side. Erase it from right here as well. Okay. You can reduce the opacity, of course, if you pleased. Before, after, and that is it. So let's take a look at the before and after. So we made a copy earlier, so let's take it to the top. This is the before and here's the after. Not much, but yeah, I think it's not that bad as well. So thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.